and then it said, a cookie without a chips is no cookie, or something like that. I forget what it was. It was much better than I described. It was and I said, you need to put this thing on Times Square. You need to rent a billboard and put it right on Times Square. Okay? And have it flashing on Times Square. You guys have the money. Put it right on Times Square. Okay? Collectively get the whole country and get it right on Times Square. And then you can switch it. You don't have to do it all. You know what I mean? This happened to have a semiconductor theme. I mean, I did this 2 years ago. I still have the videos. I mean, I spent a lot of money. It was for free. Okay? It was very cleverly done, using the national cookie for America. It was like, what are Americans? What's better than a chocolate chip cookie? What's a cookie without the chips? You know what I mean? Nothing. But I forget now. It was 2 years ago. And it went bang, bang, bang. And then the thing ended with the Yankees guy. He's gone now. And bang! You know what I mean? The thing ended like this, and then it replayed. And then I said, look, then you take other industries, you know what I mean, and you rotate it. And you put it right in the middle of Broadway. And you will get people talking. If you can't do something all the way, don't do it. Don't put little posters on things and blah, 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 blah.
Taiwan people should a lot of homework to get ourselves. When we get the
first, I have one thing to share. I'm wondering if Steve Ballmer of Microsoft CEO told who his former CEO of China region has fake academic background. He told people in public he has a PhD degree from one of the Ivy League, maybe half a year, but turned out it's a fake. He lied. He Kai-Fu. It's very famous in China. The former CEO of Microsoft in China. He's an academic background. He lied.
Yeah.
He said he has PhD of Yale or Harvard, but he doesn't have it, or he doesn't have a PhD degree. It is a very famous story. He Kai-Fu. He Kai-Fu, yeah. He's famous. He lied about his background. And I have another story. One time I have an engineer. He's very good. He comes from Tsinghua, one of the top. And he graduated top 1%. Not only that, he went to Tsinghua as a special talent. But interesting, he came to the United States. He couldn't get any scholarship. He wanted to go for PhD one day. But I asked him why. He said, for Taiwanese people in Taiwan, if you graduate as a top 1% in top college, engineering science, 100% you can get a scholarship in the United States, depending on which school. He said, there's no big deal. Everybody is top 1% from China. And I said, you can ask your professor to write you a good recommendation letter. He said, everybody can get the same recommendation letter. Do you understand what I mean? To say,
yeah.
It's all fake. Okay, there's something I want to share with you. All fake. Okay. And the second thing is, recently Ma Ying-jeou reiterated in front of Raymond Berha about the Reagan's sixth assurance. And somebody challenges it. Ma Ying-jeou want to kind of twist it. This Reagan's sixth assurance is for ROC, but that sixth assurance should be only applied to Taiwan. What do you think of this?
Reagan's sixth assurance is make what?
Oh.
What he said, the sixth assurance, actually, Reagan addressed to the Republic of China.
Yeah.
But now Ma tried to interpret that apply to Taiwan.
No. The other way around.
The other way around.
Because I really go to read this assurance, nothing mentioned about Republic of China. and it's only mentioned for Taiwan. So somebody challenging it. This assurance has nothing to do with ROC. That's my
Let me answer your question by trying to tie it in with the previous question, because it all relates to the viability of Taiwan. Part of the reason that what I described can't be done is because Taiwan is a country of entrepreneurs. So they all like to act independently. So they can't organize themselves because they're all independent entrepreneurs, which is a good thing. Part of the reason why this country went kaput when it didn't have to, when we came into the recession, is because the government, it happened on Bush's watch, no question, and I'm not happy about Bush, but Obama did not realize that most of the majority of the private sector jobs in this country were created by small business, okay? And the fear, and I'm a small business person like many of you are, and $250,000, the thought of being taxed, if you make over $250,000, ha ha ha, you know what I mean? I can't sign a rental agreement for $250,000, you know what I mean? I'm taxed personally, or hire somebody, you know what I mean? That's their salary, or anything. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm taxed at a higher rate. So the idea of that was just ridiculous, okay? So small business is what made this country in the last, I don't know, 10 years or more. You know, big business is what went under. Big business is what was taking all those jobs and moving them overseas. But we could handle it. The United States could handle it. We were substituting those jobs that went over, let them go overseas for cheaper labor on these big assembly lines. It didn't hurt us because we were substituting those jobs with small business. But then when the crisis happened, the exact people they wanted to penalize was small business, and they did. All the jobs that were lost were small business jobs. And of course, many of the small business people, they didn't go in the unemployment lines. You know what I mean? They worked for themselves. They couldn't go in the small business, they couldn't go in the unemployment lines. Okay? So Taiwan has that same issue. Okay? And that's the problem of building the brand. But it also has the advantage, and I can never get through to anybody, is that the Taiwanese are the superstars of Asia because they're real. They are real, and they're even more real than the Japanese. Now maybe the Japanese, I'm not talking about the politicians, even DP politicians, okay? But they're real about the business. They don't chase the stars. I'm not saying all of them, but they don't go chasing moonbeams. They're real. And this is what the problem that has affected even America. Okay? This is why you guys can win. Now, I thought there was an opportunity 2 years ago for you guys to come out of this and even get independence. And I think I talked about it even in this venue. What was happening is the U.S. was in a recession. China was in a recession, even though they didn't admit it. Okay? I predicted that if the United States didn't pop out of its recession by the first or second quarter of 2009, that China could not collapse, but there would be serious dislocation, social unrest, and therefore possibly cause the regime to start to fall apart. This has always been the more serious problem, serious risk to the Chinese government. They watched the Soviet Union fall, Eastern Europe fall, the rest of the Russian republics fall, Central Asia, everybody. They're the only ones left, okay, of the communist governments. Now they're not even call themselves communist really anymore, even though technically CCP, okay? They're scared out of their mind since Tiananmen. They came this close. And it was only in 1989. They know they have serious problems with social unrest, terrible unemployment, 300 million people. People in the rural areas are suffering, okay? The internet has caused an explosion of awareness, okay? They have a propaganda machine. If they disagree among themselves, they can cause problems. And if the PLA doesn't support them, they're dead. Their biggest problem is internal cohesion, not external. Okay? So, as I've said many times, they're an emperor with no clothes. So they have to keep up this external image that they're stronger than they are. Militarily, they are growing, but they're nothing compared to the United States. The Taiwanese government has let their military go to the tank, which was a stupid, stupid thing. So now America can't even get to Taiwan in time. Okay? It was stupid, 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 stupid. However, Taiwan is much stronger economically than Taiwan thinks it is. As long as they keep it real. As long as the KMT doesn't screw around with the numbers, which is tempting because they've become a chameleon to the Chinese. The Chinese numbers are fake. Now, I made this point before and I will make it again. Okay, let me tell you, this country, the United States, does not think. They decided to stop using their brains. Do you know what the Chinese government says that fixed investment is? They say this year, last year reported 2010, the fixed investment is 70% of GDP. So GDP is growing by 10%, and fixed investment is 70% of GDP. Any reaction to that? 70%. So they're building buildings. Potemkin villages. North Korea. Okay, so they're building buildings. Where are they building them? They're building them, and who's in the buildings? Who's in the roads? Who's in the dams? Who's in the? How fast can they build these things? There's millions and millions and millions of people in the countryside. How fast can they build these things? It's 70% of GDP. Now, we know that China counts expenditures by saying to the State Council, we're going to release $500 billion. Tell the banks to go spend it. And then they tell the central banks, go spend it. And the banks are like, well, on what? So the banks hold it, or the banks invested in the stock market. Does it mean it's spent? No. So, GDP is 70% of GDP is based on 70% of GDP is fixed investment and internal consumption and its trade surplus. Its trade surplus is the biggest in the world.